What's up? So, as you can tell by the title of this video, it's about depression. Now, I know I did a video the other day saying, excuse me, I just fumbled all over that. I did a video the other day asking you guys about what should I make the channel. Should I make it a niche channel where, I'm doing reviews or hair or makeup like the other people do, which I'm not going to do any of that, but I'm using that as an example. Should I do that, or should I just go ahead and just do what I do and talk? So nobody fucking responded because I don't have any fucking subscribers anymore, and I don't have anybody that gives a fuck about what I'm saying. So it really doesn't matter. But what I wanted to do, and I'm looking outside because I'm actually working, but I'm sitting in the parking lot right now, so it's kind of weird when people see you just standing looking at yourself. And now this person parked right here in front of me, so I'm sure they're looking directly into the car and they see me talking to myself. So let's just hope that they think that I am on the phone having a conversation, because that always makes me feel uncomfortable when people are looking at you talking. And it's not that big of a deal. That's something I gotta get over. Oh, they're getting out the car. Good. Amen. Raise the roof, brother. Anyway, depression. I have suffered with depression my whole entire life. I think when I look at my life now, being, in my 30s now, and I think about like 10 years ago, would I thought I would been in the, what I have thought that I would be in the current position that I'm in right now? Absolutely not. 10 years ago, I thought I was going to end up getting my music out there, and I was going to be able to go and perform, and I was going to go back to college, have a couple degrees under my belt, have my master's, manage a couple groups, become an astronaut, motherfucking become a bioengineer, scientist. I wanted to do everything, and that's partially one of my problems. But I never thought I would be in this fucked up position that I am in now. And I take all the responsibility for that. I can say that my association with certain people kind of detracted where I should have gone in life, but the people are not the problem. I'm the problem. And that's also another issue. I beat up on myself. But getting back to the depression, I've dealt with that my whole entire life. All I've known is depression. I've known depression my whole entire life, as far back as I can remember. And it's issues with my family, my upbringing, was raised in the church. So a lot of the anti-homophobic stuff the church kind of instilled in me at an early age when I knew I liked women. Just the chaos of my family. My parents were extremely young. Everybody seems to be suffering with some type of mental illness in my family. So a lot of those things contribute to why I am the person I am today and why I suffered with this depression. Even then, I knew that the depression would be a hindrance, but I didn't think it would be to the degree of where in my 30s, still young, I've lost motivation and drive. So I'll give you an example. When I was about 17, 18, I was a go-getter. Like, I was going and get it. You told me I couldn't do something? Like, fuck you, I can do it. They told me I couldn't graduate because I didn't have enough credits. I said, fuck you, I'm about to graduate. Said I couldn't get in this college. I went and took the SAT, still fell asleep in the middle of the SAT, got into the motherfucking college. Okay? Anything you told me I could not do, I was going to do it. I had that determination and I wasn't going to stop. Now I was lazy when it came to chores. I didn't want to fucking wash dishes. I had to wash the dishes. But if I was having a lot of friction with my family at the time. I was staying with my grandma, and she pretty much kept kicking me out. I would come back from McDonald's, it would be too late. She would start complaining. I'm like, you shouldn't be out this late. You can go sleep in that little raggedy car of yours, bitch. So I was like, okay, I'll go sleep in my car. And I got just tired of it. So I went and got an apartment. I got tired of it. I went and got a good job. I got tired of it. I just got tired. I started moving just all over the place, right? So, again, I was ambitious. I was extremely naive. But I had gumption. Like, I had that woof, 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 ready to go. And obviously, not even talking about myself, but just in general, as you get older, let me fix that focus. Why are you trying to rack focus, nigga? Ain't nothing to rack focus on. There you go. As you get older, those things seem to... Why the fuck does this keep doing it? Stop. As you get older, sometimes those things change, you know? Those things change as far as your ability to actually have, I won't say motivation, but I would say, what's the proper word? Maybe excitement. That might be the proper word. You know, obviously when you're 17, 18, you're just getting out of school, maybe going to college, you're excited about life. You're excited about your abilities. You're excited to take on new roles that you've never experienced. You're excited to be away from your family. You're excited to actually say, hey, I'm an adult. You're excited to control yourself. Because for 18 years prior to, you had limited control over yourself. What you did, your friends, all of those things were somewhat controlled by your parents. But fast forward 15 years later, when you're now in your 30s, you've already done all of those things. You've already experienced life. And the things that your parents said sucked about life, you realize how much they suck. Now I have a lot of other thoughts about the world being fair, and I actually am going to do a video probably tomorrow about it. Maybe I'll upload it, maybe not. I don't know. Because every time I upload a video, I fucking lose subscribers. So this new tube is not really friendly to me. I don't know. It doesn't like me. Anyway, because I'm rambling at this point. The depression that I have, it comes and goes. So I have a period, especially that period of time, when I was 17, 18, my depression kind of had went away. So I was at a down with the depression. No, excuse me, I was at an up. It was high. Highs, lows. I was high. And that was just because, you know, the excitement of graduating. Well, I was 17 when I graduated. But the excitement of graduating, the excitement of having my first apartment, the excitement of things that I could not do because I was restricted in a lot of ways. So, fucking everybody, doing all of those things, my depression was kind of controlled. I think my depression started to come back a little bit when I got fired from one of my first good jobs, one of my first corporate jobs. And I was just like, damn, you know, I'm 19. And honestly, I was having a conversation like I was 75. Like, I'm 19, I'm wasting my life away, what is going on? And obviously it was just the depression of not having any money, collecting unemployment, wanting to move, all of those things. But it wasn't severe depression. I would have never guessed then that I would deal with way worse depression. But I did. So fast forward to a few years later, the depression gets worse and worse and worse. And obviously, when you have events that are the catalyst of that depression, every time you come down the slope and you start to go on your lows, you tend to go lower and lower and lower every single time. To where now, I'm not necessarily at a low. I don't think I'm going up or now. I think it's kind of leveled off to where it's all low. It's all low. And it's a low for a number of reasons. First of all, I'm going to say this and then maybe I'll talk about it later. But I'm not a selfish person, right? And I look at everything like the whole, not just one. You know, it's 7.5 billion people on this planet, right? So your small existence is small compared to everybody else's in the whole and the planet and everything like that. So I get why people compartmentalize and they just think about them, but in reality, we need each other. We need each other to survive. If you're a human and you're by yourself and you have no interaction with somebody for almost 2 months, you can go insane. So there's an indication right there, a natural indication that you need somebody. Obviously, you need 2 people to procreate. You need people to survive. There are people picking your crops right now. People slaughtering those poor ass animals for you. People are out there doing these things right now that you're not doing. And you're taking your time and doing something else to help somebody. And people don't see that. But anyway, going back to that. When I look at things from a selfless standpoint, it just makes life a lot more depressing. Like, it makes it really sad and depressing. We look at the climate, look at the political attributes. We look at everything. And it just, when you think about your small existence and the little bullshit you have to deal with, and then all of a sudden, after you did, what the fuck are you doing? After you deal with the little bullshit that you have to deal with, what is this guy doing? Is he looking for somebody? Oh, he's parking. Okay, good. Well, you deal with the little attributes. Excuse me, I apologize. Attributes, what the fuck? When you deal with the small little things in your life, and then you move up, you look at other people's life. You move up, you look at maybe the community. You move up, maybe look at the state. Move up, you look at the country. Move up, look at the whole, region or hemisphere or whatnot. And then after that, you look at the whole world. And when you look at each level, you see there are bigger problems every level you go. So you wonder, and I know I wonder a lot, like, wow, is this worth it? Is this life worth it? I mean, everywhere you go, it's fucked up. And everybody keeps pushing all this fucking stupid positivity. But if you're pushing this positivity, why isn't the world becoming better? And granted, there have been some technological you know what I'm saying. It's I can't even think of the word right now. But there's been like improvements in technology, right? We've ascended where we were. And that's fine. And granted, we're not as barbaric as we used to be. But that's also debatable, because the people that were killing each other were generally European. That's not to say other people weren't at war, but they definitely weren't as vicious as the Europeans, with the exception of maybe the Mongoloids or something like that. And I might be saying that wrong. I think it's the Mongoloids or Mongolians. I don't know. Anyway, they're Asian. So those things are, I don't want to say they're arbitrary, but they're like, well, that does make sense. I do get that. I understand that. But we still are dealing with these issues. And if my life is so small, then why should I exist? Or even so, even if I care about people, why should I sit here and let the world hurt them so much? How could I give up my sanity to live in a world so fucked up? Because eventually you lose your sanity having to cope with all the fucked up shit that society does to you, that it does to each other, and how it even does to its own living arrangement, its own earth. There's nowhere else to go after Earth is gone. But people don't care because they're selfish. So when I know I'm in my funk, especially as of late, and I think about those things, it makes me really super depressed. Like, to the point where sometimes it makes me suicidal because I don't see the point. So I'm able sometimes to push through it and say, you know what, there is a point. You have a point. You have a point and you want to make a difference in the world. And even though you're a small speck of sand on a whole beach, you might still be able to do something. Get a group of sands together and motherfucking make change. But, because it's almost 20 minutes, so I'm going to wrap it up. What I mean by motivation is that, well, lack of motivation is that those thoughts that I have that make me suicidal at some point. And fucking, FYI, please don't get at me about suicide and telling me I need to be there, because that shit is fake. That's just fake. Don't do it. I hate it. Anyway, since I have these lows now, and I don't know if this is something just more progressive, when I get in a funk, the depression just grabs a hold of me. And it doesn't almost allow me to do anything. Sometimes I just feel trapped. Like I'm just so stuck, so in pain. All I can do is relish in the pain. I can't move. I can't do anything. It's drained all of my drive. It's drained all of my motivation. And the only way for me to get out of it, honestly, is to be pushing and screaming against it. Pushing and screaming against it. Obviously, with the help of like some aids like music. Music definitely. And that's one of the reasons why I love music so much. Music has helped me through my whole entire life. But when you have aids like music to help you get out of the box of depression, it definitely does help. But it's not just one thing. You know, therapy, groups, all of those things help as well. But even after you get over that, the motivation still hasn't come back to you. The drive hasn't come back to you. And you feel like, I'm not sad right now. I'm okay. You know, so. But those thoughts that you had prior to about the world and the energy that's in the world and the shit that people give to each other, they're still there. They don't go anywhere because there hasn't been any specific change, you know, to embed in your mind to change the thought processes. So I wonder sometimes how I can get my motivation back. I meditate. I do self-hypnosis. I do a lot of things to try to get the motivation back. I really do. I really just want to have that 17-year-old motivation. And I know that 17-year-old I once was so naive. Just thought a lot of things that just weren't true. They were disproven. And I'm not bitter or angry because of that. But I do wish that I would have been able to keep some of those things. You know, obviously we all wish we weren't hurt. And we all wish we didn't have to go through things. But losing drive and motivation, that's something you don't want to lose. So every day I'm dealing with it step by step, trying to figure it out. And I'm trying not to let the depression take me under, because I have a lot of reason to be depressed. But I do think about how many people have it worse. But then I also think there's so many people in the world that have it worse but are happy as fuck. So it's a working process. I don't have any advice to tell anybody. I'm still going through this myself, but I just wanted to talk about it because sometimes it feels good to talk about. So I feel okay right now, but I don't know when it's gonna come back. But again, I'll keep kicking and screaming to try to get this shit away from me. I'll also try to focus, because the focus is gone, obviously, with your mind running around like a little monkey. it's not there. But the meditation has helped with the focus a lot. So I am grateful that I'm not there now. But if anybody has felt that, you understand and you empathize with that, and I empathize with you. And I do this video to have a discussion with people, to talk about how they may have lost motivation or drive, and how they perhaps got it back. Because like I said, I'm doing whatever I can right now. It's a small step-by-step process, but we shall see. Alright, it's broken. I am out. Lastly, because I just said I was out, but P.S. I don't know if I'm going to do all the little extras with the fucking intros and stuff like that. I can do it. That's not really a issue. But if you just really want to have conversations with people, do you need to do all that? I don't know. I know that people, visual people love to see something spectacular. So that is another question to you. Should I go ahead and try to do the spectacular shit other people do? I don't give a fuck about that. But I do care about what people that might watch this channel would think. So if you want something, if you think I should do something a certain way, then let me know. I'm not closed to the idea of doing a certain way. Alright, so I'm going to go back to work now. Hopefully, I'll be working soon. If not, I'm just sitting up here for nothing. So, peace out. Take care.